So let's fast forward to the present. Today, I'm a very successful business coach and I help people make a lot of money. And I'm blessed to make a lot of money also and to help people achieve the kind of success that they want. So how did that happen? Well, I told you the first part of the story before. So let's talk a little bit more about what happened. What I've discovered with a lot of my clients is that they are in the same position that I was. And let me tell you what that was. There is a central golden nugget that is the foundation of your business success, like it was with mine. And you know what that golden nugget is? It's you. You are the magic ingredient. You are the key to success. So let me tell you why. People can duplicate anything that you do. They can find your product sources. They can duplicate the material that you have. They can even duplicate the systems you create. But there's one thing that they can never copy, and that's you. You are the secret ingredient. Now, as soon as I realized that my story, my history, and my background were the secret ingredient, the thing no one could duplicate, I was on my way. If you're like many of my clients, you might be thinking, what, me? I've got nothing special. Nothing's ever happened to me. I don't have a long history of success. I've got nothing to build on. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that story. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me, I'm nothing. I've got nothing special. I've got to find something out to make me cool. Let me tell you first, that is a big lie. Another lie is stuff you might hear from those around you. Maybe those that have known you for a long time. They might tell you, you can't do that. You can never be successful as an entrepreneur. You can never certainly be the number one person in anything. I've known you for a long time. You're kind of average. There's all kinds of stories. They're all lies, and they come from three places. Number one, the people that tell you you can't make it, they're either jealous because they're not willing to try, or they've tried and failed, and so they assume you can't do it either, or they're someone that cannot see the greatness in themselves, so they assume that you can't see it in you either. They kind of see the world the way they are, and they assume that everybody else has got to be the same. Well, you know what? The first realization is that all of those are lies, and they actually don't apply to you. You are the architect of your own future, nobody else. Now, that's one of the most important and first things it's important to learn. You are the architect of your future. If you're willing to accept the truth that you are the architect of your future, you're absolutely already 10 steps ahead of someone that simply won't acknowledge that real fact. Sometimes people get stuck in the idea that, well, life happened to me and I can't control that. That's actually nonsense. You and I were exactly where we want to be. That's a good thing, because that means you get to create the future. That's the first step. Now, I've met lots of people that refuse to see the opportunities in themselves. They refuse to see the opportunities around them, and they're perfectly content to live in mediocrity. But that's not you. You wouldn't be here if you weren't on fire with the idea that you can actually do something different. That makes you special already, because you've already jumped over that first hurdle. You are in a place of seeing the possibilities. Another thing I hear from people launching businesses or launching new products is an complete infatuation with the idea that the only thing that you compete on is price. That's actually the least important factor. If you reduce your ability to compete to only price, you're going to go out of business because people will copy your sources and your ideas and so forth. Now that's going to blow up your whole idea of how things work right this minute. Instead, you compete on your own ability to deliver something unique. There's one thing no one can ever copy, and that is who you are. So let's talk about some examples. I know that in your life there are certain brands that you buy even though they cost more. Now, you have whatever reasons you do for buying them, but they make you feel good, or you believe that they're higher quality, or that somehow they give you something special, status, performance, something that somehow is different. Another good example is I see on television all the time cars that win awards for safety and for gas mileage and so forth. Often they are the least expensive or the less expensive cars. And if they're winning the awards, how come the uber expensive cars keep selling? Why do people pay more for the cars that don't win the awards? There's something about that status and prestige. Now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You buy those things, I buy them. Maybe it's not in cars, maybe it's in clothes, maybe it's other things, stereos, who cares? The key here is to figure out how you can become one of those products, one of those services with a superior brand that people simply know is the best. A funny story happened to me in the middle of my market design career in commodity markets. I was in Washington, D.C. one day and was talking about some changes that were happening in California. And I commented about getting those changes accomplished. And the person in Washington, D.C. stopped and looked at me and said, "Well, everybody knows that nothing happens in California unless you do it." I was shocked at that comment. And then I realized that I had the mystique. I had the perception of power. I had the feeling among regulators, people that made rules and laws clear across the country, that nothing happened in that particular market design unless Kellen did it. At that moment, I realized just how powerful that positioning could be. Now, we talked a minute ago about competition. I want you to think for a minute and remember that the only real unique distinction is who and what you are. So as you go about creating your service, your product, you must tie it not to what you do, but who you are. Now, I'm not saying what you do isn't important. You have to produce a result. Tie it to your story, to your experience, to the things that you have done and experienced in your life that makes it obvious that you are the key provider, the one that provides that product or service in the most unique and powerful way. Learning to discover, develop, and deliver your personal story tied to your product or service is the key competitive advantage that you can have that no one can duplicate. All of the marketing tools that there are available to anyone. The key thing that will give you a competitive advantage that will last over time is tying your unique experience and approach to the delivery of your product and service. Something that sets you apart from others, that nobody can duplicate for obvious reasons. They can't be you. So now we come to the system that I've created. Speed to Profit Marketing is dedicated specifically to helping entrepreneurs create that unique and powerful advantage, something that sets them completely apart from their competitors. That is powerful and long-lasting. Now, obviously, for such a powerful competitive advantage, it's not cheap to do that, but the benefits are long-lasting and set you completely apart from everyone else providing products and services in your niche. One of the most important things to think about when we make investments in our business is the return on investment. And while I said just a minute ago that it's not cheap to work with me and to create that powerful advantage, the return on investment is enormous. When you think about the long-term income-producing potential of being completely set apart from everyone else in your niche, the investment is actually tiny. The Speed to Profit marketing system is exactly what I have used to create my own powerful positioning as the number one person in the world to help people leverage their personal story and create unique and powerful positioning in the market, to capture that leadership position, to become the answer instead of just another option. I mean, come on, who wants to be just one of the choices? You want to be the prime menu choice, the one everybody aspires to work with. Speed to profit marketing is the way to get you there. I've developed this over years of work, and with, I can't even count the amount of money, into the millions of mistakes, trials, choices, discovery, testing, and it has been refined until it works like a dream. The key is, are you willing to occupy that top position in your marketplace? Are you willing to take the step that puts you in charge, that puts you in the leadership position in your market niche? Using the Speed to Profit system, I've built 3 powerful and unique. First of all, I have built myself an unmatched USP, that stands for unique selling proposition. The second thing I built is the ability to teach others to do the same. So I built it for myself. It worked like a dream. I have built a system to help others do the same. And the third thing I have created is an implementation strategy. You and I both know there are all kinds of people selling information all over the place. Information overload is kind of the standard these days. What I do in Speed to Profit Marketing is completely different. I help you implement it so that you actually make it real. That's completely different than simply telling you how to do something. There are boatloads of people that give advice. It is the rare person that actually takes your hand and leads you through an implementation process so it works for you. I struggled getting it done because I couldn't find the kind of assistance and hand-holding essentially that I needed. So I had to do it the hard way. I was used to that because I'd done it during my career. But what I decided that I was going to do is something completely different. I was going to build not only the positioning and the tools, but I was going to help people move it forward for their business. So I get asked all the time, what is Speed to Profit Marketing? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a system for business owners and startups who want the shortcut to exponential income growth and authority positioning, who are dissatisfied with current marketing methods that make big promises and deliver limited results. My Speed to Profit Marketing is a new system that provides tools and methods to quickly accelerate income growth and capture the leadership position in your niche. And unlike other programs, actually creates status and celebrity and attracts ideal clients to your premium products. The question for you now is, are you ready to take that leap?